Let's shift focus and listen into the management itself. And we in fact caught up with Raghvendrarao Bondada as well as Satyanarayan Bharatran of Bondada Engineering. And here's what they had to say about the company's growth prospects going forward as well as the strategy. Listen in.
Yeah, yes, Anushi, we are basically in EPC segment and O&M services in both telecom, EPC and solar EPC, that is renewable energy. The company is progressing in both these segments. Both are very much required for the country. One is Digital Bharat, the second one is the renewable energy mission. And we have been there in this telecom business past 28 years, actually including my previous experience. But this company is formed in 2012. And thereafter we ventured into the solar EPC in 2017 onwards. We have been working on good sizable orders. Going forward, we have very good order book is there for next 3 years. Right now we are having confirmed order book of around 5,300 crores plus orders, and it's a huge amount of solar EPC works are there. As you all know that a lot of renewable energy is to be deployed in the country. Both in solar, wind, even pumped hydrogen, green hydrogen, even pumped storage, battery energy storage systems. A lot of technologies are emerging into the market. So a lot of renewable space is there. We are looking very bright future for next 3 years as well as next 5 years. We have the business plan available. And next 10 years, I am seeing that spectacular growth is going to happen in both the segments, telecom and renewable energy space.
Mr. Bondada, you mentioned that telecom and solar is your core business trends, higher segments that we are looking at. In fact, if you look at this H1's trajectory, also 63% of growth that you've clocked in, even in FY24, 100% plus growth. Want to understand in these segments what is leading to this kind of an upside that we are looking in growth, and is this expected to sustain for the next 1 to 2 years also if we speak? So I want to understand the revenue growth picture for FY25 along with FY26, if you can give a perspective on that.
Yeah, yes, the last 12 years our growth has been the 53% CAGR, CAGR 53%. And similar growth we are expecting. In fact, actually this year onwards we are going to make it double. Actually, the 100% growth is there. Last year we had done around 800 crores revenue. Even future next 3 years we are going to make it double year on year, because actually we have the confirmed order book which we have to deliver in next 2 to 2.5 years. We have the sufficient order book to make it happen, to make it a double of revenues in year on year for next 3 years.
That's quite a
in both telecom EPC and as well as the solar EPC.
Yes, surely that's quite a solid trajectory that we are looking at. In fact, you've mentioned about the order book. Let's get perspective on that. So in the last 6 months itself, we've seen a 3x jump in your order books that stand at about 5,342 crore. In the last 6 months, I want to understand in this first half particularly what has led to the surge in orders that we are looking at, because if you look at the FY24 number, the number was in between 1,300 mark. So what has led to this growth in orders that we are looking at, and if you can give us a perspective on the breakdown of your order book and the order inflows expected over next half?
Yes, as I mentioned, both these segments, solar, renewable energy EPC and as well as the telecom EPC, the bright future is there. So a lot of tenders are being floated across the companies and across government organizations, even private organizations. A lot of tendering process is happening. So last 6 months, we have been got into the public sector companies, participating in public sector companies tenders, because we have acquired a lot of credentials to participate in central government and public sector companies. That's the reason last 6 years we have participated, we have secured good amount of order book, and similar growth is going to happen. And my order book is going to be almost around 8,500 crores to 9,000 crores by March 2025. after reporting the March 25 numbers. As you already mentioned that projected number of around 1500 crore of March 25.
Okay, so 5,000 figure moving to 9,000 figure as we speak. How much do you plan to execute in the next half of this order book? If you can give us a picture on what usually is the execution period of this orders that you've received?
Yeah, all these orders, whatever is confirmed orders are there as of now, that 5,300 crores. Out of that, actually around 1,200 crores is our O&M, which is running into another 3 years to the 5 years time. But rest of 4,000 crores order which we have to complete in next 18 months to 22 months time. That we have to complete it.
All right. Mr. Bondada, one interesting thing about your mix, if you look at the revenue mix, now order book 75% is solar, but in the revenue composition, it is telecom, which is the leading one with about 59% of mix. So going forward, with a 100% increase that you expect in the revenues forward, what is the kind of revenue mix also? Is solar going to be the focal point now, or is it on telecom? If you can help us with the breakup between the segments expected.
Yeah, solar is going to be the major contributor for going forward, but I think as of now, whatever numbers, I think you must have those numbers. But going forward, telecom is going to be around 30 to 35%, and solar EPC is going to be around 70 to 75% going forward numbers.
All right, so that is the outlook on the mix that you've given. Another vertical which you plan to expand on is the railway sector, and the plan is to make it as big as other verticals. I want to understand the rationale behind expanding in the railway space, and what is the kind of contribution that you're looking from this area?
Yeah. In addition to this telecom and solar EPC, these are both are growth segments, and even Indian Railways is also coming up with huge budgets on their safety projects. The safety projects means the Kavach and as well as the barricading of those high-speed trains, semi-speed, high-speed, and then Vande Bharat trains by crash barriers. So these two activities we are qualified because of with our past credentials, past experience. Right now we are participating in even in Indian Railways tenders, that is of passive infrastructure services to as a EPC, passive infrastructure services to these Kavach projects. Government of India has given budget of almost around more than 30,000 crores to be deployed in next 3 to 4 years. So we are easily qualified for these kind of tenders. So we are participating even in railways. Now we already identified around 7 tenders. We have participated in 3 tenders. And this is going to be another vertical because railways are going to build their own private network for their LTE network, which is required for Kavach implementation. We are well qualified, well positioned to execute these kind of projects. We are well qualified. So even railways are also, we are looking at railways. Our railway segment is going to be a big vertical, as big as our telecom vertical. Maybe down the line, next 2 to 3 years, we might be growing maybe around 2,500 crores of vertical, railways vertical.
Well, that's interesting, 2,000 to 2,500 crores from the railway vertical, that's what you expect. Mr. Bondada, final question to you, a brief one. I want to understand your capex plans. Also, there have been some board approval on the 500 crore of fundraise. Is it for that? Are we looking at? If you can just give a perspective on that in brief.
Yeah. We have intimated to the stock exchange up to 500 crores, but thereafter we have made a lot of internal discussions. Now we are looking at anything between 250 to 300 crores through preferential allotment that is going on. I think next 2 to 3 days we are going to close that preferential allotment. Rest, our working capital requirement at this point of time is around 450 crores. So 300 crores we are going to pull from this preferential allotment, and then 150 crores we are going to make it from our debt route. So with this 450 crores of working capital requirement, I think we can easily execute our projects well within the timelines. And our prime motto is to execute projects on time. That's what actually we have been striving for it. And none of the project is delayed because of our reasons so far. So we have secured the good amount of order book, and people are there on ground to execute. And now we are in verge of pulling the funds so that actually we can execute these projects well within their time.